From your official UK station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Game Day. Presented by Tax Act. File for less and get more.
Welcome to BBN Game Day. I'm Anna Tarullo.
And I'm Christy Thomas. We've got a great show lined up for you today as the Kentucky football team held its pro day this week. We have full coverage from that, including an exclusive with Darian Kennard.
Plus, talking to a couple of current Cats who hope to be going through that same process one day, DeAndre Square and Dane Key.
But let's get to how the guys tested at pro day. Darian Kennard, Luke Fortner, Josh Paschal, Wan'Dale Robinson, Quandre Mosley, Yusuf Corker, Bully McCall, Justin Rigg, and Dare Rosenthal all participating. Wan'Dale Robinson didn't run at pro day. Really, he didn't need to. Remember, he crushed it at the combine with an official time of 4.38. He did do the bench press and vertical jump and really showed NFL teams what a powerful, explosive athlete he is. 35-inch vertical jump and a jaw-dropping 19 reps on the bench press. Really a crazy high number for someone his size. On the broadcast with us, Vince Marrow forgot he had a mic on when he heard the number.
Oh! 19. 19. That's got to be a record for a receiver here, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. I thought Lynn Bolton was a tough.
Oh.
This kid is the toughest powerful kid I've ever been around. I'm not just saying it because he's gonna get drafted.
Right.
He is. When he took that shot against LSU,
yes.
I thought he was. I thought he was done.
Okay, that's me laughing because I'll be honest with you, I was cracking up, but that was a very raw and real reaction from him and very warranted, to say the least. Yeah.
Leave it to the big dog to have the most genuine reaction out of everyone there. I love that. Luke Fortner also impressed with his athleticism. 29-inch vertical for the 307-pounder. Not easy to get a body that big, 2.5 feet off the ground. He also showed out on the bench press, 31 reps, showing the scouts he's got that lasting power you really need in the trenches at the NFL level. Special correspondent Eli Cox interviewed him after the performance.
You just finished doing the bench press. You got 31 reps. How's that number feel?
Yeah, it feels like a good number for me. You know, it's not something I've hit in training before, so to be able to come out and hit 31 on pro day, it was a good time.
Yeah, and we've talked before on the broadcast how important that 6th year was for you. So what did you really focus on in that 6th year to really elevate your game and your draft stock coming in this offseason?
Yeah, for me, it was just about, you know, approaching the weight room differently. You know, I learned a couple lessons from younger guys like Eli, you know, get in the weight room early and often. And it's something I hadn't done for my 5 years, and then come back for the 6th year, I made sure I, you know, spent a lot of time in there.
Now, Christy, you mentioned earlier when just you and I were talking that was probably your big moment of the day. Jaws were hitting the ground.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, to think about 31 reps for a guy like him was really, really him showing what he's got. And a lot of these guys are talking about not getting fat.
Right.
Getting fat in between your playing days and your draft days and then being able to play at the next level. Can you show that you can be disciplined and continue to work out? Luke is showing that.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Today was most important, though, for those guys that hadn't received a combine invite. This was their chance to get in front of scouts and hopefully pique some interest that they haven't really been getting.
That's right. Quandre Mosley understood, and he had a heck of a day. Mosley with the highest vertical of the day at 36 inches, and then he ran a blistering 4.32 40-yard dash. He hasn't had a lot of draft buzz, but after how he tested today, Anna, there really could be some interest there. 32 NFL teams were in the building. Most of them are going home to watch his tape. No question about that. Now, of course, not all the guys did all of the drills today. For instance, Darian Kennard didn't need to. He's already gone out and showed the NFL scouts what he can do this offseason at the Combine and at the Senior Bowl.
That's right. And Kennard's a guy who's been through this all before. Remember, he actually went through this process last year before ultimately deciding to come back to Kentucky for his senior season. And that experience is hopefully paying off for him now. Listen to this.
Last year I was definitely more anxious about, you know, going through the process. COVID, everything was going on. I was a junior, didn't have a lot of tape. But this year I just kind of going in. I knew I had a lot of tape I backed up, my play backed up, and really it's just, as I've been progressing through this, teams are really, what I've noticed is teams are really just kind of looking at the person, you know, up in the 1st and 2nd, maybe even 3rd round. I mean, really it's just like a difference between if they like you a little more than the last guy. It doesn't matter if because everybody's such a high level of play, like it really just depends on who they need and who they like a little more. So that's one thing I kind of noticed about doing all this. But at the end of the day, I play football. That's what I do. That's what I'm keep doing, and that's the main goal.
If I was lucky enough to be a general manager of a football team, why should I draft Darian Kennard?
I'm a future Hall of Famer. Simple as that.
Simple as that, right? You can watch our entire interview with Kennard on bbngameday.com.
Darian's a guy who came back for an extra year, put in that work, and now he's about to get paid because of it.
That's right. And this guy is hoping for the same. DeAndre Square is back for his super senior season, and he sat down with us for the inside scoop on how things are looking this spring. That's right after the break, only on BBN Game Day.
BBN Game Day, sponsored by Coca-Cola, Hunt Brothers Pizza, Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers, Kroger, Lexington Opera House, Papa John's, Shelter Insurance, and Specialty Foods Group.
This can't be right.
Trouble with your taxes? You know, filing your taxes doesn't have to be complicated. With TaxAct, filing is simple. Incoming! Switch to TaxAct and start for free.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Hunt Brothers Pizza has been proudly serving communities across America for over 25 years. Choose from Hunt Brothers Pizza's original crust or thin crust. Then customize your pizza with any of our 10 toppings to choose from at no extra charge. With that many options, there's sure to be a topping combination for everyone to enjoy a Hunt Brothers Pizza. Download the Hunt Brothers Pizza app to find one of our 7,500 locations inside a convenience store near you.
Miscellaneous expenses.
Tax worries. With TaxAct, you file for less and get your maximum refund. You're gonna need this. Oh, other way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Switch to TaxAct and start for free.
You're watching BBN Game Day, presented by TaxAct. File for less and get more.
Welcome back to BBN Game Day. Pro Day was a great time for all the guys trying to make it in the NFL this year yesterday, but it was a big day for underclassmen. The NFL have their eye on as well.
Well, one of those might be DeAndre Square. We talked with him earlier this week.
Seeing all the guys that are back or maybe have stuck around and they're getting ready to go through Pro Day, what does that do for you to see that?
I get excited for them because I know how hard they've been working. You know, playing with these guys and just being around them is everybody's dream to get a chance to make it to the next level and they have a chance to showcase their talents. And I'm especially happy for Marquand because like we grew up together, you know, so it's good to see him living out his dream, you know, and I'm just glad I can cheer him on all the other guys also.
And I know your focus is on this team now, but does it just make you think a year from now I'm going to be doing the same thing?
A little bit. I try not to think about it because it is a ways away, but it's hard not to think about it, you know. Because I could have been here, you know, doing it right now, but I'm glad I'm coming back and playing for another year, so I think about it a little bit.
What are you seeing out of spring practice? What has you excited about the team?
The guys come to work. We have a good group of guys on the offensive and defensive side, and it gets me excited. It makes me want to be a better leader, and I feel like I've been taking a new step as a leader and just being more vocal because I had guys like Josh Paschal and other guys that always been in the vocal role, but now it's my turn. I've always been the, do everything right and just, here and there behind the scenes type leader. But now I'm out there and it feels really good because the guys, they respond well. Nobody tries to challenge or anything. They respect me. So it goes smoothly and I'm loving how practice has been going.
Kind of along those lines, I saw a couple of things when we were at the open practice. Coach Pafano was going up, I think he was talking to Jordan Levitt. Mm-hmm. And he told him something and then you came right behind and kind of gave him a little bit more. Mm-hmm. That was neat to me to see that interaction.
I've been here for, it's going on my 5th year, so I know every position. I could play any position. Sometimes size and athleticism doesn't allow me to play certain positions, but mentally I can play every position.
Sure.
So, if I'm on the field or I see something, I let the coaches say something to them, but sometimes everybody don't always respond well or really get it until they have a player say it to them or explain it to them, and then they're like, oh, okay. So I try to, get with the young guys that we're going to need to bring them along and love it. Man, I've been in Lovett here a lot lately.
Yeah, and then the other thing was I think it was maybe a 5-on-5, 7-on-7 situation, and you were down on a knee kind of calling out certain places for people to be and again, making some corrections, or you're clapping for them?
This because we put in a new we just put in like a new install, and I knew some people were gonna have trouble with it, and so I was just making sure everything was like flowing good. And I don't really get in that period, so I was like not bored, but I wanted to do something, so I just decided to lead.
Turn into a coach. The secondary is a little thin, a little young. Vito gets hurt. Does it help having such a strong linebacking core to help maybe take some pressure off those guys?
It definitely does help because we able to like talk to them, and like me and Jaquez, our leadership is just not in our room. Like our room is I love my room. Yeah. Like I don't even have to really do much because of what we did last year. I trained and like I got it in their heads. Now it's their turn. Like they're transitioning into leaders, so I don't really have to put all my focuses to them or me or Jaquez, and we float like to the young D-line and to the young DBs, and we just like go back and forth and like police them. But it's been pretty interesting seeing them guys like grow, like on the D-line and the DBs.
Will this blue-white game be as big as that first blue-white game was?
I think it could be. We got a new offense. I think people would be interested to see it, and we got some familiar faces on defense, so I feel like it can be.
But for you to go out that final time in a blue-white game, is that kind of a special thing?
A little bit. I'm just trying to make sure everything goes right, everybody know what they're doing. I think it'd be special.
So happy this young man's coming back for another year.
Yeah, what a grab.
Yeah.
I still can't believe it. We feel so lucky to have him back. Yep. And you heard them talking about open practice when we were allowed in on Tuesday this week. Square and the defense were really the stars. The offense did not have their best practice.
But that's the point of the spring, figuring it out. Brad White said it best a week or so ago. It's not 4th and 1. There's still plenty of time. Clearly, the offensive coaches figured out what went wrong on Tuesday. They got their message across, and the defense felt the difference later in the week when White and a couple of other defensive guys talked with us on Thursday. Sure seemed like the offense won that day.
Those lulls are going to happen, and we had one today, and it's not just day to day, it's period to period. Like one period, the offense may smoke, and then, they've got some inherent pride in themselves that they dig themselves out, and that happened today.
Yeah, so this is a situation where I think you're going to see that, and that's what you would want if you're a coach on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. It shows they're pushing each other.
Absolutely, yeah, and to have challenges all season long when you practice, I think that's only for the better.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the offensive and defensive coaches work together to purposefully try and create new or different situation for the guys to see and practice against. These guys see a lot of different wrinkles during the season, so of course they want to come up with creative ways to practice, and that's where collaboration is key.
That's a credit to Coach Stoops, but we have a really good relationship within the building amongst offense, defense. It's competitive, but yet we're helping each other learn. We're not trying to, I'm not going out. I want to be our best version when we walk out there, and we need to play better than we played today for sure. But ultimately, I'm trying to help Coach and me too. So there's definitely, just today alone, there was give and take where I'll do things for him and he'll do things for me so that we can, we may not do that on Saturday schematically for what's best, but it's allowing us to grow.
I mean, growth always a win, Chrissy, and we just talked about that a minute ago. That's what you want. You want to be able to compete throughout the season.
No question about it. It just goes to show you that your coaches are really gelling and things are going well there. It starts at the top, right? It starts from the top down. All right, well, coming up, we'll hear from a few more of the current guys. J.J. Weaver goes against this new offense every day, Anna, so he's got a pretty good perspective.
He sure does. And freshman wide receiver Dane Key is on campus and impressing early. You'll also hear from him right after this.
At Kroger, we believe fresh is all about standards. That's why we do up to a 27-point inspection on our produce. Like for oranges, we check for color and scarring and more, keeping only the best of the best on our shelves. Because when it comes to fresh for everyone, we believe the juice is worth the squeeze. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
No one knows better than me that car crashes happen. But what I don't understand are the injuries and the deaths that are 100% preventable. Like the injuries caused by folks who will not buckle up their seatbelt, or crashes caused by folks who won't stop messing with their phone. Sometimes the drivers in those wrecks can't be saved. So please be safe, Kentucky. Buckle up, put the phone down.
You're watching BBN Gameday, presented by TaxAct. File for less and get more.
Welcome back to BBN Gameday. Now, Christy, we've seen some outspoken guys play for Mark Stoops over the last few years, some really big personalities.
Benny Snell, Lynn Bowden, can't forget about Cash Daniel, but J.J. Weaver is about as blunt as they come, so we have no reason to doubt him when he says the offense has a chance to be really, really good.
The offensive line, they get in there. They not perfect, but them some big guys now. We got a transfer from Auburn. He's amazing. I love his hands. He can strike, you know, Horsey. Horsey's our leader on that front seven. So with Horsey just being Horsey, Will, and Sierra, I think they're going to get the offense job done. With them three, our offense can be a top 10, top 5 in the nation.
Well, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, why not?
I believe him.
And you wouldn't typically expect a freshman to be a huge part of an offense that strong, but maybe Lexington native Dane Key isn't a typical freshman. Talking with his coaches to his teammates, we've heard nothing but praise for the youngsters so far. There's a lot of competition in the receiver room right now, a lot of new names, but no one who's clearly established himself as the guy yet.
And no one who's gotten a ton of reps here that creates a great opportunity for healthy competition. Dane sat down with our Keith Farmer this week to talk about how things are going for him so far.
I see us having a really big season this year, you know, especially a lot of receivers in the room. We're really competitive, working to, you know, play. Everybody wants to be competitive to get on the field, and it's just making each receiver here already even better because we're competing to, you know, earn a spot to play, and our room is really talented right now.
How do you feel you stack up when you get out there? I mean, first, you know, few practices, you haven't been around long.
Right, you know, I wouldn't like to compare anything right now just for the fact, you know, I'm the young buck, and I'm learning from all the older guys to, you know, like if I see this coverage, I'll ask an older guy, you know, how would you run this or how would you see that? So it's just, you know, asking them to really break down some things for me, and they really help me out a lot.
That full interview is on bbngameday.com. Christy, I think he's going to be a fan favorite.
I think he's fantastic. He already seems very poised and mature, so I love that interview. I thought it was great. Big Blue Nation will finally have the chance to see this team in action at the Blue-White Spring Game presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. It's next Saturday, April 9th. Guess what? It's free. What? Nothing better than free. It's at Kroger Field. Kickoff at 1 o'clock, but the fun really gets started, if I do say so myself, at noon. It's a 1-hour pregame live stream from the field with Dusty Bonner, Jeremy Jarman, and myself. Then, of course, Tom Leach, Jeff Picoro, and Dick Gabriel will call the game on the UK Sports Network.
Now, March was not the most fun for Big Blue Nation. We want to move past it. We can say that, but it's a new month, Christy. We're trying to turn the page.
Trying hard. Yep. Here's to a happier month, starting with this video from the UK football team.
What's something that makes you happy? Football. All that make me happy is seeing my mama smile, doing something she make me love. You feel me? What make you happy? JJ Weaver make me happy. Yeah, let's get it. Yeah. What? J-Dub. J-Dub makes me happy. J-Dub make me happy. J-Dub. Man, you ever had the Shepherd's Pie at Cheesecake Factory?
Just coming in the facility every day, you know?
What's something that makes me happy? Food makes me happy.
My mama. Mama's boy right here.
My mom and football, you know. Watching anime and seeing my dog. My bed, for real.
Football.
This dude makes me happy. Shoot, spaghetti. Something that made me happy, BBN.
Oh, DeAndre, we love you right back, kid. I'm telling you what.
Shoot, spaghetti, that was my favorite.
I gotta love the kids that are saying their mama, though.
I know, there's a lot of mom love on that. I like
love
that. Those always make me so happy. It's those videos.
Yes, gotta love your mama. All right, we'll be right back.
A special thank you to our cornerstone partners, Central Bank, the official bank of UK Athletics, and Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Do 2 W-2s make a W-4?
Hi, I'm April. I know tax season can be a little messy. With TaxAct, you get your maximum refund. Switch to TaxAct and start for free.
TaxAct. It's Chevy Truck Month, and it's time to add the perfect accessories to your new Chevy. Make it bolder. Make it work harder. Make it your own. Find new possibilities. Find new roads. Very well qualified buyers can get 0% financing on most Chevy pickup trucks. Plus, now during Truck Month, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward the eligible purchase of a new Chevy truck with accessories. See your Kentucky Select Chevy dealers.
Using tax filing software. Smart. Know what's smarter? Using TaxAct. The one with the expertise to help you get more. Switch to TaxAct and start for free.
Tune in to the Nick Mingione Show on Monday nights on 6:30 WLAP in Central Kentucky or stream anywhere on UKathletics.com. Darren Hedrick talks with the Kentucky baseball head coach every week to share the latest from the Batcats.
You're watching BBN Game Day, presented by TaxAct. File for less and get more.
Time for this week for the Wildcats, brought to you by Toyota. Starting with UK golfer Jensen Castle. She's having the time of her life at Augusta National. She made the cut after 2 days at the women's amateur and will continue her journey today. After 2 rounds, Jensen is tied at 9th. 3 over par. This is her first Augusta Women's Amateur appearance. She won the 2021 U.S. Women's Amateur Championship in August. Best of luck to that young lady.
Go girl, making us proud.
Yes.
Kentucky baseball has the chance to make some noise this weekend too. The Batcats are taking on Ole Miss. The Rebels were ranked number 1 in the country last week, but after losing to Tennessee, now they're sitting at number 9. Regardless, a very good baseball team. We've seen the Cats have success pulling off big weekend upsets before. Actually twice already this season, but head coach Nick Mingione says they can't do it alone.
If they want to see a team that plays hard and competes and dances and gets after it in the field and is able to make a diving play and a web gem at any moment, come out and watch these guys. I would love for us to create a home field advantage, you know, and I believe we can do that here, and these guys deserve it. So we'd love to see everybody come out and be a part of it. And we need you.
Go for the baseball, stay for the dancing, maybe the other way around. First pitch Saturday is at 2 o'clock. Sunday it's at 1. If you can't make it to Kentucky Park Park, you can watch both games on the SEC Network Plus.
Softball has a big weekend series going on as well. They're on the road. It's number 8 Kentucky versus number 20 LSU. Tonight's game starts at 6 and has been bumped up to ESPN. Really great chance for the Cats to get a good win on a big stage, and they'll play again on Sunday at 1 o'clock on the SEC Network Plus.
The Kentucky gymnastics team put up the highest score in program history on Thursday and advanced to today's regional finals. Career highs for Raina Worley on the bars and Anna Heigetz on floor. Finals start today at 6 p.m. and you can find them on ESPN Plus.
More BBN Game Day right after this.
Okay, you want to make pizza night with the family even better? Bam! Get yourself this Parmesan-crusted papadilla. So while the kids grab their slices, you'll be crunching on toasty flatbread folded with meats and cheese. It's like a golden, crispy little fireworks show in your mouth. Oh. Ooh. Get a Parmesan-crusted papadilla just for you, only at Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza.
See you guys.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities. For award-winning claims and sales service, find an agent at shelterinsurance.com.
The sun shines bright, the corn tops ripe, and birds make music all the day. This is our old Kentucky home. A place where we take the time to create and enjoy life's sweetest pleasures, like the finest Kentucky bourbon, the most authentic bluegrass music, and the most heartwarming family meal times that feature the highest quality meats from Kentucky Legend. Serve your family the very best. Kentucky Legend, where food ought to come from.
For this week's Coke Play of the Week, it's Terry Wilson to Josh Ali. Terry, coming back to Kentucky for Pro Day, said he's BBN for life. Josh not able to participate in drills as he's still recovering from injuries that he suffered in a car accident before Kentucky's Citrus Bowl win. We hate it that we didn't get to see those two connect one more time, but it looks good seeing him out there, and it was great to see Terry.
That's exactly right. Thanks for joining us on another episode of BBN Game Day, and we'll see you again next week.
BBN Game Day, sponsored by Coca-Cola. Hunt Brothers Pizza, Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers, Kroger, Lexington Opera House, Papa John's, Shelter Insurance, and Specialty Foods Group.